Well, moving now from a chronic environmental crisis to the political crisis in Thailand. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra is in an undisclosed location away from the capital, Bangkok. Anti-Yingluck protesters are trying to shut down the government by blockading official buildings, including the Prime Minister's office. And the Army Chief of Staff has warned of civil war in Thailand. General Prayuth Chan-ocha also said the army would not intervene in the months-long, sometimes violent confrontation. To tell us what Prayuth was signaling, we turn to Simon Long of the Economist magazine. Long writes the Banyan column on Southeast Asia. Welcome to LinkAsia.
Thank you for having me.
Now, is the general right? Is Thailand sliding towards civil war?
I don't think one can discount that risk entirely anymore. What the crisis of the past few months has uncovered is a very deep division within Thai society between, on the one hand, a cosmopolitan elite based in Bangkok in the south of the country, and on the other hand, the supporters of the government who are predominantly in the north, northeast, who tend to be less well off, tend to be rural, tend to be farmers. And these two sides seem unable to accept living under a government run by the other. So yes, one possible outcome is worsening violence, civil war, and some people are now even talking about the division of the country.
Who do you think Prayuth was talking to when he made that warning? Was he talking to Yingluck's government and its supporters, or do you think he was talking to the protesters on the streets and their backers?
I think he was probably talking mainly to the protesters. He was signaling to them that the government, that the army is not going to intervene on their behalf for a number of reasons. The army has very bad experience of its most recent coup in 2006, when it put itself in power but made a real mess of it. It hopes also that this time it can get rid of the government, because I think Prayuth does not like this government and would like it gone, without having to take to the streets, as it were, that there are judicial processes underway which will get rid of Yingluck Shinawatra, the Prime Minister, and her government. And also I think he is probably worried both about the mood within his own ranks, because you can't be sure that all the soldiers are behind him. Some of the lower ranks may indeed support the government. And between his forces, the army and the police, who have traditionally been loyal to Yingluck and to her brother, the exiled former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra.
Now, Thailand has a king. Where does Thailand's king stand in all of this? It seems he could have a huge effect if he came out on one side or the other.
Well, he barely stands at all these days, I'm afraid. He's an old man. He is 86. He has been in bad health. So it seems unlikely that he will come out and give a clear signal as to the way he wants it to go, as he did, for example, in 1992, when he famously ended a confrontation on the streets. And you're right that he is a crucial figure in all this, and that at the background is the looming succession from him to presumably his firstborn, the Crown Prince, who is very unpopular with a lot of Thais, unlike the king himself, who's still revered, and who by the protesters is seen as perhaps in league with Thaksin and Yingluck, with the Shinawatras. So one of their real fears is that if they don't sort this out soon, if they don't get rid of this government now, they will have a regime which is somehow in league with the monarchy, which may be very hard to get rid of.
Okay, and meantime, the violence seems to be escalating. Simon Long, let's hope this gets resolved soon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Simon Long is a correspondent and columnist for the Economist magazine.
U.S. airwaves, a global channel of uncompromising stories. World news, documentaries, entertainment, and culture. Link TV, connecting you to the world. For more information, visit linktv.org.